All right, well, we're going to start this video off with a full tilt here. If you guys are recently new to my channel and you do not know this, it's a well-known fact, and everyone that has been watching my channel for a while knows this, that there's no one that runs worse than me. There's no one that runs worse. Phenomenal day yesterday, even with an injury to Scooter Henderson, who hooked me on Prize Picks. So what happens today? Back-to-back injuries. 2 injuries for me, chalked basically every one of my Prize Pick slips. And then I had, a takedown on Draftkings. Was going to have a huge night. Jordan Goodwin injured early in the third. Done for the day. There's just no one that runs worse, man. The only way I lose, injuries. I'm honestly fed up about 3 injuries, man. You cannot make that up. Jovic, I had him paired with J.D. Davidson, PRA, Prize Picks, both easily going to hit. Jovic injured. How about Jordan Goodwin injury too? Okay, about to take down on Draftkings? No way. Another injury. Okay, woohoo! There's no one that runs worse. No one. I've unowned Kamara smashing. Doesn't matter. Goodwin injury chalks the takedown. Still going to have a good night, but I'm just on Draftkings, but just like the injuries chalked all my Prize Pick slips today. Basically, all the profit that I won yesterday, basically just blew it today on injuries. There's nothing I can do about it. So I'm pretty upset. But go to my main slate lineup. So, one with Jordan Goodwin, obviously he was absolutely smashing, gets injured. Freeman Liberty for value smashed. Kamara low ownership is doing good. Lofton was massive chalk. Vukcevic, I remember how to do it. Now I'm all mad and I forgot. Vukcevic. I think it's Vukcevic. He was really the only center I was confident for sure would get solid playing time. He was good. I mean, if you look at the other centers on the slate, he actually was the best center play. Mannion was massive chalk, as he should have been with both Green and Wigginton out. But he's shooting 2 of 10 currently right now. I got Mika Potter absolutely smashing on Keontae George in the late games. I have a lot of exposure still in this late game, but again, I have a lot of people remaining. Just doesn't matter. So. Had to get that tilt out of the way, man. There's nothing you can do about it. Not like you're just playing bad plays. No, I'm just getting screwed with bad luck. No one that runs worse. Remember that if you're new. No one runs worse. Okay, so let's talk about this 4-game slate. If you guys are looking for more content for DFS or for Prize Picks, you check out my Patreon link down below. We had a Patreon user take down the early slate, 1 lineup. And he took down the early slate. He had a huge day yesterday. I'm going to have still a good day on DraftKings tonight, but it could have been better if Jordan Goodwin didn't get injured. So yeah, I'm definitely very, very tilted, very frustrated because I put so much time in this every day, probably like 16 hours a day. And you just get screwed by 3 injuries in 2 days, man. Like that's unheard of stuff. So yes, I'm definitely a little bit upset, but we'll move on. So we sponsor again is Prize Picks. If you guys are not on Prize Picks, you can use the code DKDFS for a 100% match up to $100. It'll be linked down below. And like I said, if you're looking for more content, projected lineups, videos, player pool, I give every single update possible. I'm on Twitter all day long looking for news. I post all that on Patreon, answering questions in the Discord. If you guys are interested in that, again, linked down below. We had some big winners last night. I'll post some more. I'll post some more tonight. Again, we took down the early slate as well. But here, I'll bring it up. I tweeted out last night at the end of the night, just because when I made my video yesterday, it was the slate was still going on. But here, let me scroll down. Where is it? Okay, so this was day 1. Just a few screenshots. Again, there was a lot more, but like $100 into almost $3,000. Second place in the big tournament, $750. 300 into 2,200, and full sweep Prize Picks 25x. We had multiple people hit 25x's on day 1s because we only had 1 injury on Prize Picks day for day 1, but today 2 injuries. Basically, again, every one of my slips just incinerate my money because of injuries. It's just so annoying. If I get an injury tomorrow, I don't even know what I'm going to do. You might not hear from me again. So, all right, let's talk about this slate. Boston and Washington, the first game here. So for the Celtics, they did play today. Now, what I will say again is after the first couple days, there's DNP risk with basically everyone. If you don't get confirmation of starters for lock, which it's kind of 50-50 if you do or not, then there's a chance that the main guys might not play. So you have to factor that in for the rest of the summer league. It's going to happen. You're going to get some late scratches here. So you're really, what you want to do for summer league is try to avoid taking a 0 as best you can. Whether it be, if you don't take or if you don't get confirmation like maybe you pivot, right? And you pivot to a team that you're more confident will play or whatever. But that's like one of the main things to be profitable in summer league is to really avoid taking 0. And sometimes you can't. Sometimes you just get screwed. It's happened to me last year a couple times where there's just absolutely nothing I could do. But All right, let's talk about Boston. So Boston, they started Davidson, Champagne, however you pronounce his name, Bean, Walsh, and we'll just call him Moloch. I'm not going to try to pronounce that name. Davidson 9-3, shot really, really bad. Still put up a solid game, 14 points, 11 assists, 4 boards. Again, did play 32 minutes, which is actually really good in summer league. So I like Davidson there at the top. Rookie Walsh played 31 minutes. That was good to see. He put up a solid game, 18-5. I think he's reasonable in the mid-range. Bean played 22 minutes. He's only 4K. Assuming he starts again, I think it'll be a pretty popular value play. You had Azubuike backing him up. He played 17 minutes. Both the bigs, I guess, Bean and Azubuike, I think are pretty decent value plays at their respective price points. Again, let's call him Champagne. His brother has been going off in the summer league. He had a solid game too. 30 minutes, went for 7, 11, and 2. So I think he's an okay play as well. Jay Scrubb came off the bench, played 22 minutes, did put up 17 points. He's a little bit too expensive for me, though, coming off the bench. And Mulder, surprisingly, only played 9 minutes off the bench, so can't really go there. Let's talk about Washington. So Washington, definitely one of the worst summer league teams in the NBA this year. We can go over their rotation. It was kind of gross. They did make a comeback there at the end against the Pacers. They played 10 guys. You have a couple guys are not in the player pool. I don't think Rollins is in the player pool for tomorrow, and Patrick Baldwin I don't think is either. Yeah, neither of those guys are in the player pool, and those are 2 guys that played a good chunk of minutes tonight for Washington. Baldwin played 27 minutes. Rollins played 19, and those guys are unplayable on DraftKings. Davis had a solid game, 17, 5, and 3, 8.8K. Did play 30 minutes, so I think he's a decent spend up. Again, should be one of the main guys here on offense. Cooks played 21 minutes. He's 5.9K. Wait, hold on. Vucevic? I'm so tilted I forgot. I had it down. I forgot it again. Vucevic, that's what it is. Vucevic, I'm pretty sure. Only played 22 minutes. Went for 9 and 6 with a few steals and a few blocks. Kind of just indifferent on him. Koulibaly played 33 minutes. Was disappointing. Only went for 9 points, 4 boards. Nothing more than a contrarian option there. And then probably not going to get to anyone else. You did see Jackson play 23 minutes on the bench. I think he's at least interesting for GPPs. Talk about San Antonio. So, again, Victor Wembanyama, not the best opening day. He's only projected to play 1 to 2 games, so there's not even a guarantee that he plays tomorrow. There's if you don't get confirmation of the Spurs starting lineup before lock, there's a chance that Victor Wembanyama just doesn't play. He did play actually a little bit more than I thought last game. 27 minutes, again, 9 points, 8 boards, 3 assists, 5 blocks. Didn't have the best shooting game, but still a guy obviously with a massive ceiling. Like, he had that bad of a shooting game. I think he's still in for 30-plus fantasy points. So I have interest in him if he's available. If not, Champagne. Again, he's been phenomenal. Almost a triple-double, 28 and 6. I think he's going to be a pretty popular play. He's been putting up big numbers. So I think he's a totally reasonable option. And, again, would look better if Wembanyama does not play. Barlow played 25 minutes. He had a decent game, and then you had the backcourt, Wesley and Branham both played 30 minutes, and both were productive. So Branham 6'4", Wesley 4-7. Factoring in salary, I think Wesley looks a little bit better, but yeah, the two backcourt guys look good, and then the front court is solid. If Wembanyama is out, some of those other guys will benefit. I don't really get to anyone off the bench for San Antonio, though. So we go on to Portland. Portland, a couple guys got injured for them. Again, I had Scoot Henderson over 15.5 points on Prize Picks. He had 15 points midway through the third quarter, injured. It's like, come on, man. How much more of this could I take? I cannot take another injury tomorrow. I'm going to be so incredibly tilted if that happens. But both him and Keon Johnson got injured. Keon Johnson is out for the rest of the Summer League. Scoot Henderson's out for tomorrow. So Shaedon Sharpe at 9.5K, assuming he plays, looks like a great spend up one for 21, 8, 2, 2, and 2. He should be the clear go-to guy on offense here without Scoot Henderson. As far as who starts for Scoot Henderson, not exactly sure. I mean, no one really saw huge minutes off the bench. Reith, again, their center played 19 minutes. Butler played 13. Mania played 13. So it's not clear, in my opinion, who would start for Scoot Henderson. But the other starters, you had Badgie start and play 21 minutes. He was relatively disappointing, only 4, 2, and 1. Jabbar Walker started, played 22 minutes. He had a really good game. Again, we talked about him in the video for the first day. And he went for 15, 10, and 3. I think he had a couple blocks and steals. So I like Jabbar Walker. Murray played 23 minutes in the starting lineup. He obviously looks a little bit better with Scoot Henderson out. But yeah, the minutes were pretty disappointing outside of Shaedon Sharpe, right, for the starters. 32 minutes for Sharpe, and then only 22 for Walker, 23 for Murray, 21 for Badgie. So it's pretty spread out, which is not ideal. Atlanta and Denver. So let me bring up the Hawks here on my phone really quick. AJ Griffin tilted me day one. He just didn't have the best game. 29 minutes, shot 4-14. But yeah, starters, you had Martin was not great in 23 minutes. Griffin played 29 minutes. Buffkin played 28 minutes. Kevin Gelly started, played 22 minutes. And then Muhammad Guy, I don't know how to pronounce his name, started, played 24 minutes. So the front court, I think, is fine. Guy there at 5'3", Kabengele at 4'7". Expect low 20s minutes. So both guys should be relatively productive. I think the ceiling's probably the highest on AJ Griffin. Again, he didn't have the best shooting game, but still for 12, 9, and 1. I think he's an interesting bounce back candidate. Buffkin was not the best either. Went for 8, 4, and 3. I think I prefer Griffin to Buffkin if I had to pick between the two. And then Tyrese Martin, again, started, played only 23 minutes, shot 1 of 8. Nothing great off the bench. I mean, Vic Krejci did go for 5, 6, and 5. Brady Manick went for 17 points in 19 minutes, but nothing I'm really confident in there. Go on to Denver. So Denver, let me bring it up. They ran a bit of a tighter rotation for game one. So they only played 9 guys, and they played the starters good minutes. Kamagate played 22 minutes. Tyson played 27. Those guys basically split the center position, but you saw 30 minutes for Peyton Watson, 26 for Strother, 33 for Pickett, and 29 for Gillespie. Was very, very disappointing because I played him in the early stage. So Kamagate is 8'6", probably going to pass on him. Tyson's 8K, played really well off the bench in 27 minutes. He's viable. Would feel a little bit better about him, though, if he starts. I think my favorite play, though, in Denver would be Peyton Watson. I don't think that's a contrarian take. He played 30 minutes, had a really big game. So really like Watson at that price point. Against Strother, played 26 minutes, was fine. Pickett played 33 minutes and went for 12, 6, and 5, 7.7K. That looks decent. Again, Gillespie was really bad, but the minutes were there. He went for 3, 2, and 2 in 29 minutes, shot 1 of 7. I think he's an interesting bounce back candidate, low ownership. Last Summer League, before he got injured, he's putting up solid games. Again, he's a guy that really does have like triple-double upside. He's a good rebounder for a guard. He's good at getting assists and can score the ball. So I don't think anyone will play him after last game, but I think he's still firmly in play for me. And then off the bench, really outside of Tyson, no one played more than 14 minutes, so I'm going to pass on the rest of Denver. Finally, New Orleans and Golden State. So for the Pelicans, starters, minutes, a few were somewhat disappointing. Makovich only played 20 minutes. Same with EJ Liddell. So the front court minutes were not great for the Pelicans. But Dyson Daniels played 31 minutes. Hawkins played 29. Sebron played 26. Daniels is a guy that I'm slightly worried about, right? He was a guy that's getting decent minutes for the Pelicans in the regular season. So there is some DNP risk, right? If we don't get confirmation that Daniel's for sure in the starting lineup, there's a chance that they just shut him down for the summer league. And again, that's going to be more prevalent down the line in the summer league, where more and more teams just kind of shut down their main players. But Daniels, assuming he plays, I think is one of the better spin-ups in the slate. Again, saw 31 minutes, had the ball in his hands a good amount too. I was watching that game, so definitely like Daniels here at the top, assuming he plays. Hawkins at 9-1, I think is fine. Didn't have the best shooting game, and if Daniels sits, like, he would look a little bit better. But right now, I think I would prefer Daniels to him. Liddell at 5'8 is okay. Same with Makovich at 4'7. But again, 20 minutes for both those guys is not amazing. They're fine, but not like priorities for me. De'Aaron Sebron also did not have the best game. 1 of 6 shooting, but still saw 26 minutes. I like him for value. He's a guy down the stretch last year in the summer league, had some big games when the Pelicans started resting more people. So I do have some interest in Sebron there. And then no one really off the bench. Played more like mid-teens minutes. So probably not get to anyone there. Finally, Golden State. So Golden State's actually been running relatively tight rotation. We've seen them again in the pre-Summer League games, and then we saw them on Friday against the Lakers. And starters, they went to Davis. And I did have these names down, but again, with the tilt, I kind of forgot them. Quinones, Podziemski, Santos, Johnson. Santos, Podziemski, and Quinones played a good chunk of minutes. Quinones played 33 minutes. I think he's probably my favorite option. Did not have the best shooting game. Still went for 15, 5, and 2. So I like him a good amount. Again, he was putting up big numbers in those pre-Summer League games. Podziemski's fine. He went for 9, 11, and 2. Santos had a solid game at 6.6K, 25, 7, and 2, and still saw solid minutes. So the top 3 guys for Golden State, I like a good amount. Again, they've been running pretty consistent minutes as opposed to some other teams that are running, pretty spread out rotations. Golden State actually playing the starters a good amount. So those 3 at the top, I think, look pretty good. Davis had a nice game in the starting lineup, over 12, 8, and 4. Kendrick Davis, I think he's a solid value play. I think that was a bit of a outlier game for him, but still, if he starts again at that price point, that's fine. Jace Johnson's been starting. He only played 16 minutes last game, went for 7, 7, and 1. Reggie Perry backed him up, went for 11 and 11. Those guys are okay value plays, I guess, but don't expect huge minutes from them. So no one really else I'm interested in off the bench either for Golden State. So that's going to do it for the video, guys. As always, if you do enjoy the content, make sure to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Hopefully tomorrow night when I make the video, I'm not in a full tilt mode like I am tonight. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Good luck on tomorrow's slate, and we'll see you in the next video.